WDUN Sports Talk. Hello, everybody. The calendar is flipped to August, which means it is time to really start thinking about high school football. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. Morgan Lee is AccessNorthGA.com's sports editor. You ready to get this thing started?
I am ready or not. We're there.
Yes, we absolutely are there. It's time to turn up the intensity. All right, this is the first of 3 straight weeks where we will be going an hour each week talking about your favorite teams as we count down to the high school football season getting started for 2011. So we'll be talking about different teams each week and highlighting the teams and letting you know what's happening. A lot of the coaches were nice enough to come in and talk with us, and we're going to talk with these different guys and see what they have to say about the 2011 season, not only about this season, what happened last season, and what to think about in the future as well. So let's get right to it. Let's hit the ground running. Gainesville High School, 10-2 on the year last season, to the second round of the playoffs, and head coach Bruce Miller was so nice enough to talk with us, come into studio and talk with us earlier this week. We sat him down and talked about what to expect for 2011. We have the head coach for the Gainesville Red Elephants, Bruce Miller, is with us today. And Coach Miller, thank you so much for being in studio with us.
Well, thank y'all for having me. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Coach, you're coming off a 10-2 season last year, second round of the playoffs. What are you going to remember about last season? I mean, you had so many players from last year's team that I know are just going to stay in your head for years to come. Starting with a guy like A.J. Johnson, Thomas Niles, but on down, you had a pretty classic group of seniors coming in last year.
We sure did. We had a group of kids that a lot of them had played since about since they were 8 years old together, and. In fact, I think after we won the region championship, they took a picture of them all together, and it was like 16 or 17 of them that had been playing together. And it was a lot of fun to watch that group because going into the season, the expectations were not very high since we'd lost so many kids the year before, and that group just seemed to improve week in and week out. And, that was kind of our goal last year. Where did we improve this game? And you could almost see that group improving each week, and I really feel like we got upset in the last game against Cedar Grove. We didn't play very well, and we had several things go against us. Of course, Cedar Grove could have had a lot to do with that, but it was really a fun year with that group of kids.
I know, Coach, obviously you talk about the seniors from last year. This year's team going to be a little bit different. Obviously every team's different, but one of your better players is going to be a young kid. I mean, he's still a young kid, even though he's a veteran, in your sophomore quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Talk a little bit about what he brings to the team and how he's improved through the offseason.
Well, I think Deshaun has stepped up his game another step, maybe 2 steps. He has really become a lot more refined as a quarterback. He's a very intelligent kid. He's a very good kid. And he has kind of taken the challenge that I want to be better my sophomore year than I was my freshman year. I don't want to be a freshman sensation. He wants to be very consistent. And he's kind of put the team on his back, and he's got a little bit more leadership ability. Of course, how do you lead as a freshman? But he's kind of stepped up his game and really done a good job this summer.
Yeah, I think you do have a lot of talent on offense, and I'm sure you have talents on defense too. Is that a little more the concern coming into the year? I know you're head coach, so you're concerned about everything, but you did lose a lot of starters off last year's defensive squad. Is that kind of going into the season one of the worries for you?
Well, I don't know if it's a worry, but it's a very big concern because we lost 9 starters, right? And you lose A.J. Johnson, who had played for so long. For some people, thought he was never going to graduate because he'd been with us. AJ had been with us 4 years, but some coaches told me, I think he's been there about 8 years.
That's right.
And
they were miserable. The other coaches were like, man,
I'm glad they were miserable, but now we're miserable.
That's right.
Because AJ's gone. But I think as a unit they will gel. We had our first live scrimmage yesterday in practice, and they give us all we could handle. We went ones-on-ones, and they give us every bit we could handle in practice. So as long as Coach Pavo's over there and got them running around, being excited, they'll be tough to handle.
I know, obviously, you talk about for a season to come together. There's so many intangibles, things that just have to happen. Talk a little bit about just the leadership qualities that you look for, in players and a team, and how everything kind of has to come together for you to have another big season.
Well, that's the thing, you were talking about earlier. Last year's team how it came together. It's like a bunch of those seniors last year kind of took it upon themselves, and not just AJ and Thomas, but I name about all of them. They just kind of took it upon themselves that they were not going to lose. After the Buford game, they kind of said, look, this is not going to happen again. And they just kind of came together, and it was amazing to watch them blend together and have that team chemistry. How's that happen? If I knew exactly how it could happen, I could be a rich man. But it's a lot of caring for each other. It's a lot of work together. And it's a lot of just kind of pitching in and saying, look, I'm going to cover my brother's back. And I think that's one of the things our kids have to get to the point that there's a lot of camaraderie, and hopefully that'll all come together.
Do you feel like you've built the program to where it is now? Because you mentioned those guys have been playing together since they were in 8th grade. That seems to be how a high school team kind of builds a program now. These guys, they start at a young age and kind of work their way up. I mean, are you happy with where the whole system is as far as Gainesville's concerned?
Well, I'm never happy.
Right. Again, you're a head coach.
I'm never happy because my expectations are always a little higher. My goal would be to be back in the state championship every year. We've got some very, very good high school football players right now. And some of them will have a chance to play at the next level. It'd be anxious to see how our senior class brings everything together. We do have some leadership in our lower classes that I think will exhibit itself. We've got a kid named Fred Payne, who's one of our defensive backs, who just has got an incredible leadership ability. And I think as long as Fred and a kid named Keontre Harrison, a couple of those kids come around for us, I think we could be okay.
Excellent. This season, obviously, a tough early matchup with Buford. There's no breaks on the schedule, though. I mean, there never is really playing up here. Just talk about, kind of what you see on the schedule and kind of your expectations.
Well, we open up with Buford, which is, and I'm trying to get our kids to understand this is a great opportunity. Buford's supposed to have one of the best teams it's had. One of the better teams that they've had in a long time. I don't know how you say that when they won 3 state championships.
Exactly.
But I told somebody said Buford may have the best team they have. I said, well, I'm sure glad I'm going to get to see it. I tell our kids this is what an opportunity. Some kids play their whole high school career and don't play in a game like this. Well, we'll go in there as a chance to really measure ourselves against a quality opponent. And a chance to play in a big game early to kind of get that big game feeling out of us. And then the other thing is, just being in that setting. And then we play White County after that. I do not know a whole lot about White County. I know they lost a bunch of kids last year. They got a new head coach. Then we take a week off, and then we come back with North Hall. Which is always a big game. Which is always a big game. Yeah. It don't matter. If it don't matter what our records are, it's going to be a big game. And then then we go to Franklin County. And Franklin County, I'm predicting to be the dark horse in our region this year. They've got about all of them back they had last year. They played us like crazy the first half last year, and only did late in the fourth quarter did we bust it open. And I think us going up there, that's the longest road trip we have to make. I think there's a lot we'll be able to tell about ourselves up there, and then we come back and hit our sub-region schedule, and it's pretty much on then.
Yeah, it is on then. Yeah. It's worked well for you. Coach, really appreciate your time. Good luck this season.
Hey, thanks, guys, for having me.
Thank you.
Nice enough would talk with us and the Red Elephants, Morgan. We talked about a few of those games, Buford, North Hall, Franklin County, some really good teams in there on the schedule. Anything that kind of jumps out at you?
I mean, obviously the Buford and North Hall games are going to be huge just because the Buford game being against such a high-quality opponent, the North Hall game being against your big rival. But like Bruce said, don't sleep on that Franklin County team. I think that may be a really kind of sizable early-season test for them, something that they can use as kind of a springboard maybe.
Yeah, I think definitely. Franklin County is one of those teams that looked pretty good last year. Got to see them against North Hall, and they're not a team to really be messed with. All right, neither is Gainesville for that matter. So 2011 Gainesville Red Elephants, we'll be talking more about them a little bit later on in the show. Lumpkin County fans, your time is coming. We sit down with your coach in just a little bit. Up next, though, Chestatee War Eagles are under the microscope as WDUN Sports Talk continues. Your high school football preview rolling on after this break.
Public notice. A massive $2 million warehouse liquidation is underway at the furniture store. Tons of merchandise has been trucked in from manufacturers' warehouses, and it's all selling at extreme drastic price cuts. Hurry, it's first come, first save, and once it's gone for good at the furniture store in Canton and...
At Riverside Pharmacy, if you have questions, they have answers. If you don't have time, they won't make you wait. If you need special items, Riverside Pharmacy can order them. They want to be your pharmacy, and that's what sets them apart. Service. And just inside Riverside is the Gift Nook, where you'll find more great service in a new line of beautiful wall plaques and great colorful bags. Shop the Gift Nook in Riverside Pharmacy in the old Sherwin-Williams building on Green Street.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
Hi folks, Butch Miller from Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, and why you should get your next new car at Milton Martin Honda. First, a fantastic selection. We bought extra cars, so now we have the largest inventory in the area. Next, an incredibly low price. Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Third, we'll treat you the way you like to be treated. Those three things combined, we call a Milton Martin Honda Advantage. So remember folks, if you think you can get a better deal on a better car at Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, you got that right.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
Do you have dinner plans? Come and enjoy casual fine dining right here in downtown Gainesville. Scott's on the Square welcomes you for dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. With only fresh, prime cuts of steak and seafood, Scott's on the Square guarantees you'll become a repeat customer. Ask about catering or scheduling your special event at Scott's on the Square, 110 Main Street. Call to make your dinner plans or make your reservations online at scottsonthesquare.com. Casual fine dining at its best is right here in Gainesville.
Thank you. Over the past year, our customers rated United Community Bank with a 95% in customer satisfaction. That's the best in the entire banking industry. We're honored by this distinction and thankful for great customers like you. So if you're looking for a bank that will give you an exceptional banking experience, open an account today at the bank that's #1 in customer satisfaction. United Community Bank, the bank that's service built.
One of three where we'll be discussing all the different high school football teams from around the North Georgia area getting ready for the 2011 football season. Judd Hickenbotham, Morgan Lee, he is AccessNorthGA.com sports editor. You're a busy little bee right now, aren't you?
Yeah, beyond.
Don't roll your eyes. You could have worse jobs. You know?
No. I love the job, but man, I mean, it's it is definitely stretching.
Yeah, it is. It is a little stressing. That's fine. So if he's losing hair during the season, you know why. All right, we talked with Bruce Miller, head man for Gainesville High School, just a few minutes ago. We'll be talking with Tommy Jones as well. Morgan actually sat down and talked with Coach Jones of Lumpkin County. That's coming up a little bit later on in the broadcast. Right now, though, let's take a trip down Sardis Road. Chestatee High School coming off just a 3-7 season. Stan Luttrell, the head coach for the Chestatee War Eagles, was here earlier this week in studio as well, and we asked him about what to expect in the upcoming season. We're with head coach Stan Luttrell from Chestatee High School. Coach, thanks so much for being in studio with us. And your sixth season. You're already your sixth season. Time flies, doesn't it?
Time definitely flies. You know, very excited to be at Chestatee and to have been there for so long, and we're looking forward to a great 2011 football season.
Yeah, Morgan and I talk about, just football season kind of sneaks up on you. It's like 1 second the baseball season starts, next thing you know, it's into football season. You ever get kind of a downtime, or you pretty much all summer long, this is exactly what you're thinking about?
Our downtime is Christmas break.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, after Christmas break, it's full speed ahead, and we're counting down the days till our opening game.
Man, very, very good.
Well, just, Coach, coming into this 2010 or 2011 season, talk about kind of what y'all went through last season, kind of some of the growing pains that you experienced, and just kind of what that did to kind of help build what you're hoping for is going to be a good 2011.
We had a great group of seniors in 2010. We knew that we were going to have to play a lot of young guys, and we did. At one point, we started 4 freshmen in one game, and any time that you're playing that many young guys, you're going to struggle to win. But we were 3-7. We finished the season with a win against Walnut Grove and felt positive about it. And we've had a tremendous off season. Our guys have been tremendously committed to the program, getting bigger, faster, stronger. We've played both ways over the past 2 years, and now we're getting back into our 2-platoon plan where people only play offense or only play defense, and that's really brought a lot to our program as far as what we're able to do. We're able to do a lot more in our schemes, and conditioning is not an issue. Injuries shouldn't be an issue or as big of an issue because of playing both ways. You lose one kid, you're losing 2 starters. So I feel very good about our young men. We've had over 60 guys at all our summer workouts. We've competed well in all of the camps that we've been to, and we're excited.
Talk a little bit about, I know you've got a solid committed group of seniors this year, but I know the bulk of this team is the juniors and sophomores class, and talk about that group and about kind of how excited you are.
Well, this junior class has been with us since we started in our Junior War Eagle program, and they've even won the 12-year-old championships in the Mountain League, and so we feel real good about them. The majority of them got a lot of reps last year in the 2010 season, and I think we have 25 or 26 of those guys. And then our sophomore class, some of them obviously got to play, as I said earlier, with four freshmen starting one game, and they've had a successful middle school program. So we feel good about the majority of our team being sophomores and juniors with some good, strong leadership from our 13 or 14 seniors. And I feel good about where the team's going. Their attitude is tremendous, and they feel they're ready to have that year that we've been waiting on.
Yeah, Coach, one of the special young guys you have, Quan Clark. I mean, just an outstanding year last year as a sophomore, over 700 yards rushing. It's good to have, and you got a lot of good running backs coming back. Mm-hmm. But I guess he kind of leads the way. It kind of has to make you feel pretty good to have that kind of backfield.
Absolutely, Quan's coming back with over 700 yards as a sophomore. Ben Souther was the last sophomore to rush for over 600 yards, wow. And Quan's right there in the mix with that. And I think Quan's getting ready to have a breakout year. You also mentioned the other guys, Montre Tate, who was hampered by a high ankle sprain last year. Montre's had a great summer, and we have a new kid who transferred in from Milton named Brandon Thompson, who's a national level sprinter. Wow. And so we feel real good about those three. And then Jordan DeGraff being our quarterback. Jordan got a lot of snaps last year. He led the team in interceptions at corner, and now he's solely working at quarterback. And he's had a great summer, and I think we're going to be very explosive on offense.
You talk about the offense. Obviously, you graduated a real playmaker in Scott DeGraff, the quarterback.
Mr. Tuning.
Yes.
So, one of those guys that went both ways for you, too.
Yeah, Scott Tuning, obviously, and was a leading tackler on defense as well. Talk about the hole that you have to replace with him, and about Jordan DeGraff, who is stepping into the breach.
Well, the biggest thing that Scott brought to the table is he was from a football family, and his leadership will be the hardest thing to replace, is how he led the team. Yes, he was the leading tackler on defense, and yes, he was the starting quarterback on offense, but Scott was one of those guys that stepped up and spoke up when he had to and really led the team. And instead of one or two guys doing that like we had last year, we have a large group of young men that are coming together to lead the team. Jordan does have a big hole to step into as far as that leadership on offense, but I feel confident that we've groomed him well. He's not going to be thrown to the fire like Scott was earlier, or like Ethan Souther was 6 years ago. And he is ready for the challenge. He's getting bigger and stronger, and he's learning the offense better, and I feel like he's going to do an excellent job of running the offense.
How do you feel coming into this season? I mean, it seems like you're kind of putting something really good together and kind of stepping up. Go 3-7 last year, but like Morgan mentioned, some growing pains with some younger guys, but it seems like you're really ready to take that next step for 2011.
I think we're definitely ready to take that step. Last year 3-7, no one in our program's happy with that. Into a new region, yes, we play a tough region. So does everyone north of Atlanta. So we feel like that we've paid our price per se last year with some growing pains and playing younger guys. Those guys are older, they're bigger, faster, stronger, and we're ready to get it done on Friday nights.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, you want to wrap this up with?
Yeah, we definitely. I do want to ask you one more thing about one of your former players, Chase Vassar, he's over in Athens, and he has a chance to possibly play this year for the Bulldogs. Do you keep in touch with him? Do you keep in touch with a lot of your older players?
Absolutely, Chase is doing a great job. He made some plays in the spring game. I've spoken with the Georgia staff a couple of times this summer. And they feel like that he is ready to make that step, and he's grown up and he's matured a lot since he's left us, which is great for Chase. And it's time for him to be ready to step into that role and be an every down guy. And they're waiting to see if he's ready to do that.
Yeah.
Ben Souther is another one. He and Brantley Beck are at the Air Force Academy right now.
Really?
And Ben is in the mix to start as a freshman. They were at the prep school last year, and now they're actually at the academy. And Ben is in competition for the starting B-back position at Air Force.
That's pretty good.
And it's always exciting to look back and see how kids grow up in your program, and that's what we're doing within our program, as well as my friends that are at other schools. Is we're trying to build young men, not only the guys that are going to go play college football at Georgia or Air Force or wherever, but guys are going to be husbands and fathers one day, and they can be productive in our society, and we're producing a lot of good men out of our program.
Yeah, absolutely. And one more question. I think it's something that you mentioned with Morgan either yesterday or a couple days ago, starting fast this season. It's at West Hall, September 2nd. You guys get started. How important is it for you guys to kind of get off on the right foot, not just that game, but the first few games?
It's critical. People don't understand how important momentum is in a season, much less in a game. And it's very important for this group that have paid the price in the offseason to start fast, have some success early, and kind of get on a roll before we get to our sub-region schedule.
Excellent. Stan Luttrell, really appreciate your time, and good luck this year at Chestatee.
Thank you very much.
All right. 5-26 for his career so far with the War Eagles. And Morgan, you take a look at the schedule for the War Eagles coming off a 3-7 season. It's a 3-game stretch that starts right there, September 30th at North Hall. I think that could make or break the War Eagles season, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Luttrell talked about the need to start fast, start strong, to kind of build some confidence in that team. If they can do that, then they're going to come into that stretch with the season very much on the line, the playoffs very much on the line. And if they can make hay in that stretch, then they're going to be playoff bound. I mean, there's no way around it. If you could take out North Hall, Stevens, and Franklin, you're going to win that sub-region. Yeah. The question is, back to back to back like that, two of them on the road. Now, granted, North Hall's not a long road trip, but that's a very tough slate right there.
Yeah, it definitely is a tough slate, and it's the intensity that comes with that rivalry is a very, very good one. We'll talk a little bit more about Chestatee as far as what they're facing this season, what they have as far as personnel is concerned, and Gainesville as well. We'll be talking with Lumpkin County's head man Tommy Jones as well. But up next, we will talk a little bit more about the Red Elephants and the War Eagles. WDUN Sports Talk is rolling on after this 2011 high school preview. Thanks for being with us.
Hi folks, Butch Miller from Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, and why you should get your next new car at Milton Martin Honda. First, a fantastic selection. We bought extra cars, so now we have the largest.
So Coach, your 2000.
An incredibly low price. Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Third, we'll treat you the way you like to be treated. Those three things combined, we call a Milton Martin Honda Advantage. So remember folks, if you think you can get a better deal on a better car at Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, you got that right.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
Do you have dinner plans? Come and enjoy casual fine dining right here in downtown Gainesville. Scott's on the Square welcomes you for dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. With only fresh, prime cuts of steak and seafood, Scott's on the Square guarantees you'll become a repeat customer. Ask about catering or scheduling your special event at Scott's on the Square, 110 Main Street. Call to make your dinner plans or make your reservations online at scottsonthesquare.com. Casual fine dining at its best is right here in Gainesville.
Thank you. Over the past year, our customers rated United Community Bank with a 95% in customer satisfaction. That's the best in the entire banking industry. We're honored by this distinction and thankful for great customers like you. So if you're looking for a bank that will give you an exceptional banking experience, open an account today at the bank that's #1 in customer satisfaction. United Community Bank, the bank that's service-built.
At Riverside Pharmacy, if you have questions, they have answers. If you don't have time, they won't make you wait. If you need special items, Riverside Pharmacy can order them. They want to be your pharmacy, and that's what sets them apart. Service. And just inside Riverside is the Gift Nook, where you'll find more great service in a new line of beautiful wall plaques and great colorful bags. Shop the Gift Nook in Riverside Pharmacy in the old Sherwin-Williams building on Green Street.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
WDUN Sports Talk rolling on. This is the first of 3 hour-long episodes we will have for you to kind of preview the 2011 season. By the way, on WDUN, we will be going triple barrel action for most of the season. A whole bunch of high school football all over the place. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. That is Morgan Lee. We'll be spread out throughout the course of the year. I might not actually be able to see much of the season. You'll be at one game, I'll be at the other.
Yeah,
that's fine. But
it's cool.
It's fine. You know,
we'll see each other during the week.
Yeah, we'll see each other the week. It'll be just fine. All right, we talked with Stan Luttrell just a few minutes ago from Chestatee High School. Coming up in just a little bit, Lumpkin County's head man Tommy Jones as well. Nice enough to talk with Morgan in his office as well. Let's talk about these two teams that we just had a little preview on with their coaches. And let's start with the Chestatee War Eagles, 3-7, coming off a 3-7 campaign, which is, Chestatee's only been around 6 or 7 years. And it's kind of been, I think, a disappointing year. That was kind of a disappointing year for the fans because I think Stan Luttrell's kind of built a little something over there. He's a game under 500 with a team that is kind of in the infant stages as far as the stuff's concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a program actually going into its 10th year. The school opened in...
Has it been 10 years?
2002.
Time
2002.
flies.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, certainly. I mean, his first season in there, went to the playoffs, created a lot of hope and just what they could accomplish as a group. Matt Fligg built that program from the start. Had one playoff team and then left. Luttrell comes in, goes to the playoffs, and then the next year has another winning season. They've been, it's just a typical AAA type of school. I mean, talent just kind of cycles in and out. Mm-hmm. And, not that they haven't had talent, but, they haven't had a big group of talent. They've had some talented kids, but, maybe not that big group that you need to make a push for the playoffs in a region as competitive as 7 AAA was and 8 AAA is now.
Yeah.
So I think, hearing Coach Luttrell and talking to him, he's pretty excited about the group of talent that they have now, especially, that junior class. Between the quarterback, between the linemen, some of those running backs, I think he thinks that it really could come together for him over the next couple of years.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that he was talking about Chestatee is going to try to have guys just go one way, not have to go both ways. And I say it's ironic because, they lost a great two-way player in Scott Tuning, who was both the quarterback and the defensive back as well. Chestatee starts their season at West Hall. That's going to be on September 2nd. All right, Bruce Miller entering his 10th season with the Gainesville Red Elephants. We talked to him a little while ago. 10-2 last year, made it to the second round of the playoffs. He really has just built something over there. I mean, this is one of the top programs in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of old Gainesville folks would say, well, that's the way it should be, just because Gainesville, if you knew anything about Gainesville back in the day in the 60s and 70s and 80s, that they just were a powerhouse program. I mean, maybe not, a state championship type of program, but they were always in the playoffs, always around the playoffs. And then went through a lull there in the 90s when they're just, again, you talk about, a dearth of talent. It just kind of came through. A few talented kids, but just as a group, it wasn't there. Bruce comes in, and all of a sudden, I mean, it turned around quickly. Now, some groundwork had been laid by Coach Wilson a couple of seasons before that, but Bruce came in and kind of reaped the benefits, and he's kept it going. I mean, they haven't not been in the playoffs in those 10 years. They got to the Dome his first season. They got in the semifinals. They got to the Dome a couple years ago in the championship game. It's just it's a program that knows how to win, and the kids expect to win, and that's worth a couple wins every season when you get into close ball games. When a kid just knows he can win and knows his team can win, it's worth a lot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. You look at Chestatee, the way they kind of line up, they have their split back option on offense, but they like to spread it out, but they usually run it most of the time. You look at what Gainesville does, they just like to spread it out, and they throw it a lot more. I mean, you don't see that in high school football very much.
No, it's what Gainesville does is it's something so totally different. I mean, it requires, obviously, a really incredible athlete and a smart guy, or at least someone who understands the game at quarterback.
And they got one who's just a sophomore too.
Yeah, exactly. Deshaun Watson is the future is unbelievably bright. And again, Chestatee, sometimes they even line up very similarly, but it's just the plays that they run once they snap the ball are totally different.
They keep it between the tackles a little bit. They might bounce to the outside, but more times than not, it's a handoff or a pitch going on with Chestatee.
Absolutely, and whereas Gainesville will throw the ball, I mean, their run game is often, the pitch will be 10 yards over to the sideline. It'll be a sideways pass, and that functions as a pitch out basically, and then take off from there. So, very different, but there's a lot of similarities, and basically you're just trying to spread the defense out and get your playmakers in space.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty much what you want to do. Gainesville on defense has been so good. They were so good last year. Got a guy like A.J. Johnson. That might be one of the question marks for them coming into this year. A.J. was such a special player, though. I know as a Georgia fan, you kind of hate to see him going up.
I absolutely hated that. I that's still one of the biggest mysteries to me, is why we did not recruit him very hard. And he was a lifelong Georgia fan and would have come in a heartbeat.
Yeah, by we, Morgan means Georgia.
That's right.
Huge Georgia fan. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We will talk with Tommy Jones, head man from Lumpkin County, as our preview continues. High school football season right around the corner for 2011. WDUN Sports Talk rolling on after this.
Hi folks, Butch Miller from Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, and why you should get your next new car at Milton Martin Honda. First, a fantastic selection. We bought extra cars, so now we have the largest inventory in the area. Next, an incredibly low price. Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Third, we'll treat you the way you like to be treated. Those three things combined, we call a Milton Martin Honda Advantage. So remember folks, if you think you can get a better deal on a better car at Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, you got that right.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced, professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
Do you have dinner plans? Come and enjoy casual fine dining right here in downtown Gainesville. Scott's on the Square welcomes you for dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. With only fresh, prime cuts of steak and seafood, Scott's on the Square guarantees you'll become a repeat customer. Ask about catering or scheduling your special event at Scott's on the Square, 110 Main Street. Call to make your dinner plans or make your reservations online at scottsonthesquare.com. Casual fine dining at its best is right here in Gainesville.
Thank you. Over the past year, our customers rated United Community Bank with a 95% in customer satisfaction. That's the best in the entire banking industry. We're honored by this distinction and thankful for great customers like you. So if you're looking for a bank that will give you an exceptional banking experience, open an account today at the bank that's #1 in customer satisfaction. United Community Bank, the bank that's service built.
At Riverside Pharmacy, if you have questions, they have answers. If you don't have time, they won't make you wait. If you need special items, Riverside Pharmacy can order them. They want to be your pharmacy, and that's what sets them apart. Service. And just inside Riverside is the Gift Nook, where you'll find more great service in a new line of beautiful wall plaques and great colorful bags. Shop the Gift Nook in Riverside Pharmacy in the old Sherwin-Williams building on Green Street.
...2011 high school football preview show rolling on here, WDUN Sports Talk. This is the first of 3 that we are going to have. So thank you for being with us. 1 each week as we count down the days to kickoff for 2011. All right, we talked with the head coaches for both Gainesville and Chestatee. Morgan Lee got to squeeze into Tommy Jones' office. Tommy Jones, the head coach of Lumpkin County. Let's see what he had to say about the 2011 season.
So, Coach, your 2010 team played well. You were in the playoff hunt right till the end there. Do you feel like you can build on that momentum with your 2011 team?
We certainly hope so. I mean, I know last year we had felt like we had made progress, and that's been one of our goals since we've been here. This will be the 6th year now that we continue to build and make progress every year. We felt like we were really close last year. Close can be frustrating, but at the same time, I think as a coaching staff, you really want to highlight the positives that go along with being close. We did a lot of great things last year. We won some games that we hadn't won in the past, and not just beating teams, but ways to win those games as well. Obviously, we lost the nucleus of a lot of good seniors last year that are going to be very difficult to replace. For us to be successful this year, it's going to require us being able to have a number of our younger kids step up and to perform at a level that we think they can, but that they haven't had to yet. So it's going to be very important for us.
So who are some of the big players that, returning players that you're expecting big things from this year?
Well, obviously probably the name that comes to mind quickly for most people who've watched us over the past few years is a defensive end by the name of B.J. Dorsey returns. B.J. is been an all-region football player for a couple years now. Very athletic, very good player on our defense. We're glad that he's coming back. We hope we can keep him healthy. Last year he ran into just some minor knee issues that prevented him from playing in the last few years. That definitely curtailed us a little bit. We've got another skilled player athlete, Ian McIntosh, that returns as well. Ian plays several spots on offense for us, from running back to a receiver. He's the definition of an athlete when it comes to position-wise. Also, he's a cornerback on defense, and we'll look for hopefully some big play potential out of him. Our quarterback this year right now factoring in will be Logan Moy. Logan had a chance to play some last year when Taylor Guthrie was absent. Logan's been a 3-year starter, started previously at cornerback on defense, and has done a great job for us there. And we'll make a transition with him to that position as well. So, right offhand, those are 3 names that come to mind of guys who are returning that we're counting on to continue playing at the level they were. And surrounding them, will be a challenge with some guys having to step up.
With so many younger players and newer players stepping into key positions, are you planning on changing anything with your offense and defense this year?
One of the things we say on the offensive side of the ball that we're a multiple eye team. We really try as much as anything else to be able to cater a lot of what we do around our personnel. We're going to look similar at times. We might look a little bit different at times as well. Just trying to feature or highlight some guys that we think can do some things on offense. Defensively, we'll still be a 3-5 team. One of the things that we've tried to do over the past 5-6 years is to really gain an identity with what we do on offense and defense, and we feel like we've been able to do that, and hopefully that's an advantage that our kids know exactly what we do, and they're able to play at a higher rate of speed because they know what it is that we're trying to do.
You've only been at Lumpkin County for 6 years. You've really kind of rebuilt something there. Do you feel proud about what you've accomplished so far?
From a region standpoint, we do feel like we're reaching that level of respectability. We want to be able to compete week in and week out with everybody we play. Obviously, you want to be able to win the games that you're supposed to win, and you really want to be able to compete in every game, and you strive to win every game. And we feel like we're getting to the point where we have opportunities to win a lot of those games. At the same time, we know that we're nowhere close to where we want to be. I mean, we have aspirations to be a perennial playoff team, and we haven't made the playoffs since we've been here. That's important that we get to that point. So there's a lot of goals that have been unreached, but we definitely feel like that we have made significant progress. We have a great administration here. We have a great faculty. We've got great kids that work extremely hard. We're very fortunate in a lot of different areas. So hopefully that's going to parlay, and we're going to continue to make strides and continue to improve and eventually reach a lot of those big-time goals that we have.
About the nicest dang coach in this area, too.
Oh, yeah, he's great, easy to work with, and very prompt.
Yeah, absolutely, very prompt. There you go. Taking a look at their 2011 schedule, they start with Riverside, go to Union, and have Union County at home. I think the stretch for them, Morgan, starts September 16th at Monroe area, then against Johnson, then against White County. That's a big stretch.
Oh, absolutely. The Monroe area game is going to be a huge test for everybody this year. I mean, I didn't mention the Monroe area game with Gainesville just because I think everybody knows how big a deal that is, but certainly everyone's going to want to test themselves against the athleticism Monroe's got. Then you come to Johnson, another good team. White County, a huge rivalry game. So those three games really could define the season.
Yeah, absolutely. They're coming off their first winning season since 2003. Lumpkin County 6-4. We'll take a break, come back, talk a little bit more about Lumpkin, and wrap this thing up. It's the 2011 football preview. WDUN Sports Talk. Be right back.
Hi folks, Butch Miller from Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, and why you should get your next new car at Milton Martin Honda. First, a fantastic selection. We bought extra cars, so now we have the largest inventory in the area. Next, an incredibly low price. Plus, we'll give you more for your trade. Third, we'll treat you the way you like to be treated. Those three things combined, we call it Milton Martin Honda Advantage. So remember folks, if you think you can get a better deal on a better car at Milton Martin Honda in Gainesville, you got that right.
At the offices of Dr. Norman Peets, DDS on Green Street in Gainesville, patients have all their general dentistry needs explained. Ask about sedation dentistry. Dr. Peets' team of professionals puts you at ease. Dedicated, experienced professional. He's Gainesville's family dentist. Dr. Norman Peets, 615 Green Street in Gainesville.
I will not march blindly into the fluorescent light of Monday morning to a job I do not love. I will not go with the flow. I am not a carbon copy. I will visit this website before tomorrow because I refuse to work for the weekend, even if everyone is working for the weekend. Today, I will find a job that I love. Today, I will find my career happiness.
Do you have dinner plans? Come and enjoy casual fine dining right here in downtown Gainesville. Scott's on the Square welcomes you for dinner Tuesday through Saturday night. With only fresh, prime cuts of steak and seafood, Scott's on the Square guarantees you'll become a repeat customer. Ask about catering or scheduling your special event at Scott's on the Square, 110 Main Street. Call to make your dinner plans or make your reservations online at scottsonthesquare.com. Casual fine dining at its best is right here in Gainesville.
Thank you. Over the past year, our customers rated United Community Bank with a 95% in customer satisfaction. That's the best in the entire banking industry. We're honored by this distinction and thankful for great customers like you. So if you're looking for a bank that will give you an exceptional banking experience, open an account today at the bank that's #1 in customer satisfaction. United Community Bank, the bank that's service built.
At Riverside Pharmacy, if you have questions, they have answers. If you don't have time, they won't make you wait. If you need special items, Riverside Pharmacy can order them. They want to be your pharmacy, and that's what sets them apart. Service. And just inside Riverside is the Gift Nook, where you'll find more great service in a new line of beautiful wall plaques and great colorful bags. Shop the Gift Nook in Riverside Pharmacy in the old Sherwin-Williams building on Green Street.
WDUN Sports Talk, wrapping things up. This is the first of 3 hour-long specials we'll have for the 2011 high school football season. WDUN going to be all over the place as far as high school football is concerned, as usual. So we will have broadcasts all over the place, starting with the August 26th game. Buford gets everything started on the 19th, correct, as far as local teams are concerned?
Well, Buford, Riverside, Union County.
They all start on the 19th?
Yeah,
wow.
there's several, North Forsyth. So,
boy.
It's week 0, as they call that one.
Week 0, and then the next week, the 26th, everybody gets started. Judd Hickenbotham, Morgan Lee, back with you here. Wrapping it up. All right, Morgan sat down, talked with Tommy Jones, had that interview for you just a few minutes ago. Lumpkin County Indians coming off a 6-4 season, their first winning season since 2003. This team is losing. You could say this about most every high school, I guess, but it kind of just depends which seniors you're losing.
Sure.
Lumpkin lost some pretty key pieces of what happened last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about the starting quarterback and Taylor Guthrie, and just a bruising fullback and Michael Flanagan, a great nose guard and Jonathan Whitehead. Just some really important pieces to what they were able to put together last year and stay in that playoff hunt right till the end. That doesn't mean that they're down and out this year by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you heard Coach Jones talk about Ian McIntosh. You heard him talk about Logan Moy, who got some snaps as a starter last year while Guthrie was out early in the season. They don't have the bruiser at fullback that they did, but I think Trevor Udy can be a good running back for them. And certainly, like I said, McIntosh is just a great athlete.
You just like saying Udy.
Yeah, why not? Udy. Cool.
No, you mentioned it. I think one of the keys, Taylor Guthrie was such a good quarterback, but he started last year injured. I think getting Moy in there early last year can really help to what he can do this year.
Certainly. Once you get your feet wet at varsity competition, everything, as the old cliche goes, everything starts to slow down for you, and it's a cliche, but it's a truism as well that once you've experienced it and you know what to expect, things just come a little easier. So he's not going to be awed, I don't think, by this year, considering he was thrown into the fire last year. And a name that obviously that Coach talked about, that is, when he's healthy, he's one of the best in the region, and that's the defensive end, B.J. Dorsey. He's a real difference maker.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. And Moy going to be kind of working around an offensive line that maybe has a little continuity. They got 5 linemen that have some experience, which is always huge for any quarterback in any team, really.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of these guys didn't start every game last year, but they got playing time and built some depth, and hopefully that'll pay off for them this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be talking with a whole bunch of different coaches as we go through the first part of this. We have, like we said, this is just the first of 3 shows we're going to be doing for the 2011 high school football season. We will be talking with whoever your favorite team is. More than likely, we'll be talking with their coach. Flowery Branch fans, East Hall fans, Buford, Johnson, Lakeview, Riverside. We're going to have a whole bunch of different coaches on. As far as AccessNorthGA.com is concerned, Mr. Sports Editor, when can folks expect the previews to be up?
As far as the season previews, we're looking hopefully toward August 15th, if we can get everything pushed up on that website quick enough. It'll certainly be that week. We're not gonna let everybody fall behind it, but hopefully by the 15th, that Monday before week 0, I guess kicks off that Friday the 19th. But yeah, it's 30 teams, 30 previews. Hopefully this video will be on demand on it. Everything in depth and all just the meat and potatoes that you want about your team.
Everybody wants the meat and potatoes, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, this show not only is on WDUN TV, you can see it on AccessNorthGA.com, of course. You can also hear it on the radio on WDUN. So we're going to be doing a little cross promoting, I guess, cross broadcasting, since we have the capabilities here at WDUN. And really, if we can toot our own horn, nobody really does high school football like WDUN does it. So there you go. We'll be bringing it to you all season long. Morgan, successful first show, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I think it went well.
Absolutely. For Morgan Lee, for Scott McIntyre, who really puts all this together, he is the glue that sets us all together. We really do appreciate it. We will be up next week. Check out AccessNorthGA.com. Monday morning, we'll let you know what coaches are going to be on for next week's show. Thank you very much for joining us. 2011 preview show on WDUN Sports Talk.